Big news this week, East-West Connectors has submitted and been approved for substantial completion on the O-Train Stage 2 Eastern Extension out here to Trim. You're watching the pathway to passenger service.
Oh, it's amazing. It's a great step forward for public transit in Ottawa, and it's a huge step forward for us in terms of having a long-term, sustainable, reliable transit system. And it's really about improving the system. And I know we talk about it as an extension of Line 1, but it's an extension of the transit system, and it'll bring reliability impacts throughout. So tremendously proud moment for the entire team. I know Richard's team has been working tirelessly on the construction side and with our partners. So we're excited. And I know our customers are. So we want to get going with trial running as soon as we can, so that we can start that service. And so it's a proud moment for the team, and we're excited about it. Thank you for asking.
So substantial completion is an important contractual milestone and confirms that the constructor, EWC, East-West Connectors, has delivered all new system infrastructure that is functional and can be safely operated and maintained. This comes after the city and the Independent Certifier conducted a detailed review of EWC's submission. Having achieved substantial completion, Rideau Transit Maintenance, RTM, will now assume responsibility for the maintenance of the new East Extension. It's important to note now there's going to be a period of startup and familiarization for RTM as they take over the infrastructure and the maintenance of these installations, the stations, and the guideway itself.
Yeah, thank you, Shane, for the question. So as I talked about earlier on, there will be some maintenance activities that residents will see as they're driving alongside on the Highway 174. They'll see more maintenance of way vehicles. So these high rail vehicles that can run on the road but can also run on the track, they'll be out on the line and moving crews throughout the line so that inspections can be undertaken, but more preventative maintenance activities can be practiced on the line. So we have this period of RTM familiarization, and that's going to take place over the next week. And then once we get through that, then we want to be running trains on a daily basis. And so certainly during the middle of the day, we will start moving, initially we'll have singles, but then we will be increasing the number of trains as trains become available, so that we'll have a single, then we'll have a multiple unit, and then multiple units. As we build up the confidence and as we have more trains, so that we can be ready for coming to our next kind of media briefing to talk about the details of trial running.
Now that we're really on the pathway to passenger service, there's a lot of different steps that are going to happen over the next couple months before the line opens, which they're still saying should happen in Q2 of 2026, so in the next couple months. The first one is going to be pre-trial running. Pre-trial running really means familiarizing RTM with the system, the infrastructure, also OC Transpo, the operators, the control center, doing final checks, validation, final integration, leading up to the trial running, which is the very intensive portion of 14 days on track, where the trains have to perform 14 days flawlessly or as close to flawless as possible, operating at the high frequencies they're going to be running at during revenue service, day and night, weekday and weekend. Following those 14 days, there's going to be a 7-day period where the trains and the service was going to be tested for different scenarios, different emergencies, different contingencies. Again, also to familiarize and to make sure the processes and the guidelines and the plans that they have in place are going to be sufficient and adequate for operating the line. Then there's going to be some final system preparations. In the past, On line 2 and line 4, as well as line 1 when that originally opened, that was about another 3-4 weeks. That's when they start changing, you know, all the signs, taking down the construction hoarding, making sure everything's ready, changing the pamphlets, the information online, making sure the online systems are working properly, you know, the final loadout of the software packages and all that. There's a lot of different things that'll happen at that point. So if we assume that pre-trial running is going to be about a month, trial running will last probably about 3, maybe 4 weeks, and then the final systems preparation of another month. We're right now at the start of March. That puts us to April, May, June. We could have an opening on here in June. Although the timeline can change, it could be later, it could be earlier. This is really something that's a moving target. Nobody really knows at this point because there's still a lot that needs to happen and a lot of evaluation that needs to happen to determine when this is actually going to happen. But definitely very exciting. We should probably start seeing some trains circulating a little more frequently around here as part of the pre-trial running in the next couple of weeks. And then once we see trial running start, you're going to start seeing trains every probably 3-5 minutes coming down the line here. The way the trial running is going to operate on this extension, trains will start at Tunney's Pasture, carrying passengers all the way to Blair Station. At Blair Station, everybody has to get off. The train will then continue on from Blair to Montreal, Jeanne d'Arc, Convent Glen, Place Orleans, and Trim here behind me. Complete its run, switch directions, head back towards Blair, start picking up passengers and going back to Tunney's Pasture. So a lot of people have been asking, is it just going to be testing this segment of the line or the whole thing? It's going to be the whole thing. So the frequencies you see of trains at the other end of the line are what you're going to see over here. We're going to be seeing trains every couple minutes in both directions coming all the way out to Trim. That's going to be phenomenally exciting, and I'm very excited to see that. Of course, Railfans Canada, being your source for the latest on O-Train news, is going to be capturing a lot of the trial running because this is really going to be a momentous occasion and a big milestone for this project and the O-Train system expanding in Ottawa. So we're going to have drone footage, we're going to have on-site video of the trains passing through the stations along the alignment. It's going to be really spectacular to see this. So definitely the pathway to passenger service is going to be a very exciting final closing stage of many years of construction, a lot of effort, and a lot of, coordination just to bring this project to fruition. From moving the 174 highway, realigning the lanes, rebuilding the whole Montreal Road overpass, building the flyover near Blair and Costco. Another 12 kilometers and another 5 stations are soon on the cusp of opening here in Ottawa's East End.